overall, some tips that I would recommend you guys that I don't see many people talk about is, first of all, don't do the promotion rate extreme 2. It's a bait. It is a bait, cause if you go to the promotion rates, right here, extreme 2, it gives you either 7 to 14 epic sigils or 5 to 10 legendary sigils, right? And it can give you myth extract and legendary extract. If you go for, but if you just want epic sigils, extreme 1 gives you double the amount on average. And if you want the legendary sigils, 5 to 10, 7 to 10. Stage 15 gives you more for legendary sigils. Plus, and here's the kicker, guys. Myth extract, the most valuable thing that you need to get from these to actually max promote someone, have a higher drop rate at stage 15 than at extreme 2. Extreme 2 has the highest drop rate for legendary extract, but myth extract has a higher drop rate at stage 15. So don't let yourself get baited by trying to farm extreme 2 and try to get myth extract there. If you need myth, you go here. If you need legendary, you go here. If you need epic sigils, you go here. And if you need legendary extracts, then you go to extreme 2. But other than that, don't let yourself get baited by extreme 2. Another thing about the sigils is that you can actually buy at the Dwarven associations these blue sigils for 2,500 gold. Sometimes they pop up for 2,500 gold, 5 pieces, and you should always get them. Because if you convert that into energy, it costs you about 9 energy to do 1 run. So for these 5 sigils you would need 9 energy. But if you would go and make a gold run, you would on average need, for the amount of money that you pay here, you need 1 or 2 energy. So basically in energy departments you pay way less for the blue sigils if you go here and buy them when they can pop up. But don't ever buy them with diamonds, of course. That's just some small optimization that you can do. Other than that, also in the shop, there's quite some interesting thing going on. For example, you can actually, the mythic extract that we talked about before, you can actually get these from the shop, but don't buy them with diamonds. They cost 400 diamonds. That's definitely not worth it. But you can also get them for 400,000 gold. So if they come up for gold, instantly snatch them. Instantly snatch them. Another thing I want to talk about with you guys is, now I already used all of them, but every now and then you will get these awakening stones, right? These purple awakening stones to awaken any unit. Don't waste them. They're really rare and they're really hard to get and they're really valuable. So only use them on a unit that you know you're gonna use. Like for me, I gave them to Ref because I knew I'm gonna progress a bit if I actually pop him up, you know, if I boost him up a little. So I gave him to him. MaBucket has a whole video about these where you can that you can watch, where you see pretty much the most common units that you want to use these awakening stones on. Basically, first you have the epic lords that have the highest priority, and then just the good units. But I'll put the link to MaBuckets video in the description. Now for the beginning, you want to focus on your campaign, join a guild quickly, and really focus on this storyline right here. Because not only do you get nice rewards, but it basically guides you on what you need to do. And it will help you to progress. It will say, go and farm experience. And then you do it, and then you're like, oh, actually I can continue campaign right now. And then it says, go upgrade your gear. And you upgrade it, and then exactly because of that you will be able to continue your campaign. So it will guide you up to a certain degree on what you should do to get going on the campaign. And also, if you skip these things and do them later, you have to redo some of these again. So it doesn't save everything that you do, and that's why you should always try to keep up with this storyline right here. Then also in terms of the rates, artifact material rate, don't even bother with artifact material rate. It's not worth for you to even try to do it in the early game, because you won't have many fighters. You won't invest in many fighters because they're not that good in the early game. In the early game you want the mage, you want the tank, a healer. That's the things that you want, yeah? The DPS, a platform DPS, a tank and a healer. But fighters are getting stronger later, so don't bother because you won't get anything. I'm not farming here. I'm not farming. It's not worth it for me. Because it's only worth it if you get down here to get these red crystals. Because even if you get them, look, even if you get them and you go to artifact, then you go to smith, you still only have a 20% of get a myth artifact. And then on top of that, you have all these different myth artifacts, and you may just want a certain one that is good, and you may get the wrong one, so you will have to craft and craft and craft. So don't even bother about that. Don't touch it. Just don't. For the storyline, okay, other than that, don't touch it. Then in terms of gear, getting gear, you don't want to touch gear rates either unless for the storyline and until you get to stage, here, until you get to legendary gear. You should be as efficient as possible, right? So you should only go and farm XP once you're at stage 7, because then you have the highest efficiency. You should only go farm gold once you're at stage 7, because then you will have the highest efficiency. Well, that is right. I believe that even though I've been doing that effectively, I believe not everyone who's free to play will have the luck to get a comet or some really top tier AoE, a mage or DPS who will just rampage through campaign to get you to have efficient farming. So sometimes you will have to be stuck, and that is the same for me. Like I had to farm XP rate 5 for a bit, I had to farm XP rate 6 for a bit, and then I got to progress. That's just, try to be as efficient as possible, but don't try to overdo it. Like, it's just not possible if you're not spending money to be super efficient in that aspect, right? Also, before you get legendary gear and you get purple gear, you should buy it here. Just buy the purple gear here. It's completely fine to buy it here. Once you get to better gear, never buy any gear here. Yeah. Once you get to the later stages, never buy it anymore. And then you will also get into gold struggles. And gold struggles is the other thing that is related to gear. And that is you don't want to upgrade bad gear until level 16. So if you have red gear, like this one, that is not good, you can upgrade it to level 12 for the stats, right? But if it doesn't have proper substats, don't upgrade any gear to level 16, because it costs like $500,000 from 12 to 16, or even more sometimes. So just don't even bother trying to upgrade gear above 12 unless you get a big value out of it, a milestone, right? Just don't bother, because it's too expensive. Another mistake that I used to do is at the beginning you will get a lot of these guys and these guys, and I sold them. I was like, oh, I don't have space here, I don't have space, so I'm selling them. Because the thing is, you usually use them for fodder, right, to upgrade your units. But the problem is that I couldn't farm XP rate at a high level, so I didn't need that much fodder, and I needed space here when I was pulling, so I just sold them. What you should do instead is sell some of these rare ones. Straight up to you, just sell some of these rare ones. The only ones that you should keep is this one guy, the Decimus, Puke, and Navri. The other ones you can all sell, and the keep ones, some of them of course for some fusions, but the other ones you can sell. Because the thing is, if you sell these, you actually get diamonds. You get a lot of diamonds, and that's extremely useful, right? So if you sell these to make space. because I always have to go here and buy these out to get some more fodder. So the earliest things that you want to farm are XP rates, right? So, and if you farm them, make sure that you have a XP boost on, right? This one, so you get the double amount. Always try to have that in the beginning. When you start out, you will have it, and there's multiple ways to get it. You can buy it for diamonds, which I wouldn't recommend. You guys don't do that. But you can go into the shop right here, and then here, that's pretty cheap actually. You can always buy this XP boost from the arena shop, and then you start grinding for the XP, and then it's completely worth. If you're farming XP or if you're farming gold with the gold bonus right here, it's completely worth to spend diamonds for stamina refill. Always, actually, I recommend you to. If you farm XP and gold, use your diamonds to refill your stamina for a bit. Not too much, of course, just a few diamonds, few potions. Nothing wrong with that. Always buy this potion in the arena shop as well every day. Another thing is that you should not rush 6-star units. Like, you should not rush to 6-star units, cause then if you rush it, and let's say it's one day before a 2x event, you rush it and then the next day you summon and you get a good unit, you can't upgrade it to 6-star. That's what happened to me. I upgraded my Theowin because I was like, oh, I needed someone else 6-star other than Comet. I need this guy to have 6 stars. I upgraded him, and then I couldn't upgrade others because I didn't have enough of these uncommon heroes right here. Uncommon and common ones. Right? I didn't have them. Here's also another thing that applies for late game players, and that is when you're summoning and you summon on these summon events, right? The 2x event. Once you get into late game, you don't want to summon on 2x anymore. Mid to late game transition, you don't want to summon on 2x. Cause I show you right here. I have basically all I want, right? I have a good AoE mage, I have a good sniper, I have a nice buffer healer, I have some frontline, some healers. What I really need is a good healer like a Vortex or a Midan, you know? These are epic healers. And in terms of legendaries, I need a good fighter like Salazar or Silitu, right? If you take a look at these, I don't need all of them. I just need specific ones now at this point, because I have the basics. I just need some specific additions. And there are 26 legendary units that are no lords. So without the lords, with the lords excluded, there are 26 legendary units. There's basically like 9 ones that you really want, like that you really 9 to 10 ones that you really hard profit on them. Like Regulus is good, but it's not like if I want the legendary, I would prefer like someone like a Zillitu, a Setram, or a Comet, yeah, something like that you would prefer. So your summons will get more specific, your needs will get more specific over time. That's why you should transition from a 2x event to a 10x event. It's way more efficient. If you get to later stages of the game, you should transition to 10x events. And because for me, like, I really need one of these healers, right? There's no 2x events for the 4 stars. There's only a 2x event for the 5 stars. So chances of me getting a healer that I want are the same on a 10x banner without having these healers rated up. But if I get a rate up banner, a 10x rate up banner on Vortex, and I pull, chances are I get him. Chances are I get him. So try to find a point. At some point you will swap from 2x to 10x summons. And the last tip and most crucial one, of course, is to follow this account. Otherwise it will hurt your progress. And leaving a subscribe will guarantee you a legendary summon in the next temple. So what are you waiting for? Go subscribe.